Welcome back to the Sports Rock Show.
It's for rock and roll, baby.
Now we're going to talk some rock and roll. One thing real quick that I want to discuss is Bon Jovi announced that he was going to do a Cleveland Browns kickoff concert with Michael Stanley at the stadium middle of July. It was like the 14th or 16th or something like that.
It was an NFL. It was a Browns kickoff.
Yeah. Got canceled. And I just found out recently it's because they sold 3,500 tickets.
He just played Cleveland in March.
How much was he charging? How much were ticket prices?
I don't think they were outrageous. I mean, I don't know what the prices were, but I think if you wanted to get a decent seat, probably $100. I mean, I don't think it was anything outrageous that any other band would charge, to be honest with you, outside of the Stones.
I think, honestly, I think it's something for Cleveland to be a little bit ashamed of, to be honest. You've got a major rock star. Now, I'm not a fan, don't get me wrong. Got some good songs, but just not a fan of Bon Jovi. You've got a major rock star that wants to come and perform in your city for your football team to kick off their season, and you don't support them.
All right, can I give you a little heads up on?
That's a little bit of a, that's something that honestly, I mean, it's not every day that a rock star goes to a city and says, I want to perform for your team. You don't see it happening in other cities. I mean, I'm sure to some extent it does, but...
Okay, let me give you a little heads up here. Ohio.
Yeah.
Economy.
Yeah.
In the shitter. One of the worst states economically right now is Ohio.
Okay, but first of all, I guess...
You're going to go spend $100 for a ticket to see Bon Blow Me instead of going out and buying groceries for your family.
People were spending that to go see Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber. They both sold out the queue.
Different. Those people probably, and I'm going to speak right now, hands up, and I know how this is. I know some people that go see those concerts.
Yeah.
If mommy and daddy don't have the money, they've lived off mommy and daddy, and they go see those shows. So it ain't nothing to them to go spend that kind of money for it. Your true diehard people that want to see a good band, they don't always have the money to do it. They have other needs that they have to fulfill. So here's the deal. Bon Jovi was already here. Our compadre right here, Doug, already said he was already here in what, March?
Yep.
He was in here in March.
I think probably got a pretty good crowd.
And he may have done well then. The people that spent that money then, they probably saved a lot of money to go see that show. They're not going to come out again now to see that because they've done spent what they had. Ohio is not a very good economic state right now. And if anyone wants to see something, us old diehards, quite honestly, I save my money up for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Stones come and they're going to ask some money for that show. You know what it's going to take? It's going to take me busting my fucking balls, saving money to go see them. Am I going to go see them? Goddamn right. 50 years of the Stones, I'm going to it. But that's the way people think. He was already here not that long ago. A huge band comes in that hasn't been here since what? When's the last time they played in Ohio?
Who?
The Stones. In Cleveland, Ohio, 2004 or 94?
They played on the Wicks tour in 02.
203.
Oh, 203? Okay, that's been quite a while ago. That's a different story. This guy was here in March, and granted, and I give my hats off and kudos to John Bon Jovi. He went to him and said, hey, I want to do this. Fine, no problem. No one's interested in that. Because it is a hard economically hit state.
Okay, I'm going to counter with that. I guarantee you that for 8 games this year, regular season games, I'm not really sure about the preseason, but for 8 games this year, the Cleveland Browns will have over 70,000 asses in the seats at Cleveland Browns Stadium. So don't tell me that people can't afford to go to a concert when they're shelling out, I'm sure, a lot more than that to go see the Browns. Now, that was $100 to get a decent seat. I'm sure there were plenty of seats at this Bon Jovi show that were much less than $100. Don't give me this economy crap.
I got a counter for that. What means more to the people in Cleveland, Ohio, the Cleveland Browns or Bon Jovi? What are you
But
gonna
that's-
save? What are you gonna save
but
your
that
money up
doesn't-
for? If you're a diehard Browns fan, you're gonna save your money up to spend that kind of money to go see the Browns, not to go see Bon Jovi.
But
Period.
Bon Jovi is coming here to kick off the season for your beloved Browns.
He ain't doing it for free.
Never said he was.
How much is he charging his ticket?
I don't know. Doug says probably about $100 for, I'm assuming, lower level or field.
I would say $100.
Get you on the field, I would assume.
I don't want to say average, because I think there's probably, if you sat close to them, as close as you can get, I bet that's probably more like 400 or 500. But the majority of them are going to be 100 or even probably 50 or whatever. Upper deck or whatever, if they sell them in the upper deck, those are $50 seats. They're not going to go. But if you want to sit up close, then you're going to pay $400, $500, $600 to sit up close to see Bon Jovi. But you're only doing that if you're a Bon Jovi fan. If you're not a Bon Jovi fan or a super fan, you're not paying $600. You might pay $50 to sit out there. But I think, in my opinion, the Browns miscalculated. First of all, they went after, if Bon Jovi was their first choice, and I don't know if he was,
He went to them.
they should have.
He went
If they
to
had
them.
gotten Paul McCartney, different story.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, wait a minute. Here's where
And that could have been done, I think.
here's the thing that I think there's a misconception here. They didn't go to Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi went to them. He approached them first.
Well, but
I don't
they-
know if you know this or not, but he approached them first.
But
and
they
said,
may
hey,
have
I would
put-
like to do this.
They may have put the feelers out there and said, we're looking for somebody to come and play this. You know, we want to get a rock act in here.
Lombardi?
I have no clue what the deal is.
with Belichick.
I do know this.
He might be.
with him too.
He might be.
Well, I do know this. He is the one that actually initiated all of this. John Bon Blomi initiated all this.
Call him by his real name, Bon Jovi.
That's not even his real name anyway.
No, sure.
But he
Maybe
went,
it's just not
he
spelled the
went
right
to
way.
them first to initiate this. He was the one that initiated with them. They didn't come to him.
But what I'm
Had
saying
they
is,
had the
but
Cleveland
come on, they
organization
may
under
have
them-
put out the feelers throughout the rock community that they're looking for somebody, and he may have bit and said, okay, I'll do it.
Now, had it been Bon Jovi, Fleetwood Mac, Chickenfoot, and Michael Stanley, I bet they would have sold some tickets.
They may have, but then again, here's what I'm coming at. And I said this earlier. This is an economically hard state. Those people, do I go see this concert or do I go see the Browns? What's more important to me?
Yeah, but there'll be a lot of people coming for that concert alone. They probably care less about the Browns.
Obviously not. If you only sold 3,500 fucking tickets, they don't care.
No, that's because I'm talking with Fleetwood Mac and Chickenfoot.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
No,
but
not with Bon Jovi, no.
But that's not on the menu, brother. Bon Jovi's on the menu. Bon Jovi was here in
Michael
March.
Stanley. And probably 3,500. I'm probably
They-
2,500 with Michael Stanley.
They
fans.
sold out
Well,
the queue
Maybe so.
in March.
Okay.
Bon Jovi did.
Okay.
Okay, I believe that.
But then he can only roust up 3,500 tickets
To see him in the stadium
at
show.
the stadium. And what's the do you
Yeah,
have a
'cause
price?
there's
Do you have, wait a minute, do you have a ticket price on this, by the way, Chris? You're a producer. Do you
All
have a
right.
ticket price?
Well, Brown season ticket holders and members of the official Bon Jovi fan club got early shot at tickets, which ranged from $950 to $575.
All right, there you go.
You can't afford a $10 ticket to see Bon Jovi? Bullshit.
$9.
$9.50 to $575 was probably like front row.
Okay, well, Bon Blomi, I guess that tells you they don't want to see you twice in Cleveland. You done been there once, your time's done.
Yeah.
You know, they seen you once, you're done. Plain and simple. But that's all there is to
But
it. There's no more to
he'll
say.
get the 50,000 at Giant Stadium. Because that's where he's from.
Well, that's where he's from.
Well, that's his hometown. All I'm saying is, like, if that's the
Then you're
case,
dealing with about $12 million or 12 million people, as opposed to
what, thousands, hundreds of thousands in
Cleveland, I think Cleveland's population is anywhere from 700,000 to 800,000.
All right, there you go.
well, add Akron and Canton into it.
Well, then you're talking probably about a little over a million.
Those people would rather spend their money
million
to
and
go
a half.
to a Browns game And quite honestly, what I've seen in the last, I don't know how many years,
See, but here's the
I'd rather
thing.
spend $9.50 to see Bon Jovi.
Here's the thing.
I really
It
would.
wasn't just Bon Jovi. You were getting an hour of Michael Stanley and the Resonators. Okay. Plus, you were getting a 2-hour fan fest that preceded Michael Stanley and the Resonators. A pep rally after Michael Stanley and the Resonators at 8. And then Bon Jovi was supposed to take the field after that.
I'm glad you guys can't see this. I don't have a camera because you can only imagine what I'm doing right now. Because that means so much
Honestly,
to me.
I think that's a pretty decent evening for, if you were to spend $50 and get a decent seat, or $100 and get a decent seat. I think you're getting a decent value for your money there. It's not like you're just seeing Bon Jovi.
Ball?
I personally feel that it's a shame for Cleveland that they couldn't go out and support him, to be honest.
Support him? Why? He's not from Cleveland.
Doesn't matter. He's doing something for your city. He's coming in here to play for your team.
This isn't his team.
That's all the more reason to support him. He's doing something.
I get both of your points.
He's giving back to the city of Cleveland.
He ain't giving shit to Cleveland.
Yes, he was.
You gotta see Joe Walsh.
You're damn right. If Joe Walsh had been on during appreciation, that not only would he have sold the tickets,
they would have definitely sold the tickets.
Oh, he could have just done it with him and the James gang, and they'd have probably almost damn near sold out the whole fucking place. That's the point. He is not Cleveland. It
doesn't have to be Cleveland.
He was there in March. He had his little thing. Well, you know why he did it now? He has lack time down. Maybe he don't even have no shows set up.
But he's Bon Jovi. He doesn't need the money.
I would think so.
Come on.
But he sold
out the first time he played.
I think it's.
But he's Bon Jovi, but he's not from Ohio.
I don't care.
He's kicking off Cleveland football.
Right.
Hell, you'd have been better off saying Michael Stanley's going to do a concert there, and he's kicking off because he's from fucking Cleveland. He has probably more fans in Cleveland, Ohio than Bon Jovi. Michael Stanley.
Michael Stanley is not Bon Jovi.
In Cleveland, Ohio, yes. Obviously not nationally. Or internationally.
Well, there's no one national actually coming. It's Cleveland, Ohio. Period.
Bon Jovi was going to come until Cleveland decided to screw that up.
Hey, I don't have a problem with that. I was going to buy no tickets for that shit anyway.
I think the Browns miscalculated.
I agree.
Had they done something at the stadium, if they want to do something at the stadium, let Michael Stanley play a show there or whatever. If you want to bring in another act, not as big as Bon Jovi.
If they would have,
Chicken Foot's a good one.
If they would have sold,
they aren't even together anymore.
If they would have sold 10 to 15,000, and he still would have said, that's not making enough revenue to bring the stage in and all that, I could see it. But 3,500 people, Bon Jovi can't get 3,500 people. That's a disgrace for Cleveland, to be honest.
I don't know if it's a disgrace to Cleveland.
I
think it's a simple fact is that he was here in March.
But he sold out in March.
But
what it looks like to me is he sold out in March.
His fans have already seen him. They aren't paying to go see him again. Yeah, period.
That's it. If he had 16,000 in March and sold out, and then he comes back and plays in July, and he only sells 3,500 tickets, that means his fan base is small compared to the fact that he had 16,000. He doesn't even have 25% of the fan base that would come back and see him again, right?
Yeah, they already seen him. They ain't going to come and see him again. That's what I'm saying. He's already been here. They've done that. They ain't coming back to see him.
I think it looks bad for the city of Cleveland, regardless of all that jazz. I think it looks bad.
It looks bad at all in the city of Cleveland. I think
it looks bad.
His people came and seen him when he played at the Gun or Q or whatever it is, the Q. They ain't coming out. How many seen him?
If the Stones had played here in March, how many tickets do you think they would have sold if they played here again in July?
It's more than 3,500.
How many do you think they would have sold? 20,000? 30,000?
Right. They probably wouldn't have sold out. They probably would have sold 20 or 30,000.
How many is that stadium?
To be honest with you,
a lot of those people would have been out of town. Would have been from Cleveland.
Right. What Haslam probably should have done, they should have brought in like Machine Gun Kelly. He's huge.
Oh,
and he's a Clevelander.
Danny Gilbert's buddy.
Yeah. I'm just
He's a
saying.
rapper.
Keep
I'm
one
just
thing.
saying.
Keep one thing in mind here, people. Cleveland didn't reach out to Bon Jovi.
You don't
Bon
know
Jovi.
that. You
Yes,
don't
I do.
know
It was
that.
on. Everything that I've ever heard, the reports.
Your sources
He
tell
went-
you.
I'm telling you,
He
I
went to
highly
them and
doubt.
said, "Hey, I want to do a show here for a
highly
kickoff."
doubt that out of nowhere, out of the blue, he just said, "Hey, Jimmy, sup? Why don't we do a kickoff show?" Yeah, sounds great.
I'm going to tell you what.
I'll bet you the Browns put out feelers and he responded.
Well, then you know what? Too bad for him.
Either way, even if he did flat out just out of nowhere say, "I want to do this," and they set it up and it failed, that looks even worse.
Well, you know what it looks like to me? Thank God he won't be playing in Cleveland again.
I think it's bad for Cleveland. I personally
I
feel
don't
it's very
look at
bad
it
for
that
Cleveland.
way. I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it that way. I heard that he went to them and said, "Hey, how about we do a kickoff here?" Because I know he's a big sports fan and everything. I heard
That
from what I heard on the
I
radio
think
and
it
everything
looks
else,
bad.
is he went to them and said, "Hey,
On
how about
who?
we do
Bon
this?"
Jovi or Cleveland?
I think it looks bad on Cleveland.
I don't think so.
That they can't support 2 Bon Jovi concerts?
Yeah, within a few months.
Now here's a question: has he done Super Bowl yet?
I don't think so.
Maybe he plans on doing. Maybe he's been asked to do the Super Bowl, and this was his way of kicking that off.
Hopefully,
I
a
don't-
lot
I
better
don't
in the Super Bowl than did in Cleveland.
Well, hey, maybe Cleveland will be in the Super Bowl and he'll play at halftime.
Wow, two things just happened there.
There's more than
One's
3,500 people there.
Yeah.
I assure you that.
That-
One's
Yeah,
very
right.
likely, one is not.
I'm just saying what I heard is he approached Cleveland.
That's what your sources are
And
telling
I'm
you.
telling you that
I heard this on the
either
radio.
way,
They said that he approached them to say, "Hey, how about we do this as a kickoff for the Brown season?" Which I give him kudos for that. I'm not taking anything away from him for that. But you know what? He just played there in March, and he comes in, and now he has to cancel because he only sells 3,500 tickets. My God, a Division
Don't
One.
say a high school band would get out.
No, a
35
Division
people.
One high school freaking basketball arena holds 3,500 fucking people.
oh, I would argue that a Division I high school football game would have drawn more than 3,500.
Yeah,
people.
it's like, come on. There's a reason this didn't happen, people.
Definitely.
There's a reason.
Well, I agree. I don't like Bon Jovi, but I just think it looks bad for Cleveland. I think it's sad.
I don't think it's bad at all for Cleveland. I think if they'd had somebody else step up and want to play, say if Joe Walsh would have played, I'm guaranteeing you it would have been a done deal. It's,
Could have brought the
nah.
Eagles with him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even had to bring the Eagles with him. Pat Benatar would have probably drawn. Chrissy Hines would have probably drawn more than that.
They should have had a World
from
Series
there.
of Rock.
They're from.
You
Yeah,
well,
I miss World Series of Rock.
Nowadays,
I miss World Series of
especially
Rock.
with
We need that now at the stadium. Now that they're willing to have.
They should have had Bon
concerts.
Jovi with Fleetwood Mac, Chickenfoot, and Michael Stanley.
that would have worked.
That'd have been great.
Fleetwood,
actually,
Mac,
now-
Fleetwood Mac should really be the headliner.
Well, they would be.
We'll
the
give it to
headliner.
Bon Jovi.
Well,
Just
Since it's his call.
yeah. Well, it's not now. And
Well, I'm just saying. But that'd be a hell of a show. That would be worth. People would be. You'd have more than 3,500.
oh hell yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you'd had a lot. You wouldn't have sold it out, but you'd had quite a
No,
few people.
yeah,
there.
just max it out at like 30,000. Keep it kind of tight and as intimate as you can for a stadium show.
just sell at the lower bowl, basically, in the field.
Mhm.
I agree. All right, moving on. We recently had a member of Sprock at a Rolling Stones show.
Oh, hey-oh.
Ew. Give us a little rundown of the tasty treats that you got in
At
Toronto.
Toronto, Canada.
June 6th, I was in Toronto. I was kind of misty-eyed when they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Rolling Stones," and they come out. Ugh, makes me shiver just thinking about it.
Shivers up and down your spine.
Keith comes out, and I got worried about you. Was the fan request song of the night? Rocks Off, which I could probably done without that. I'll make forgot the words, I think.
Oh,
Emotional Rescue. So Mick got a little bit of a workout on the falsettos because he did falsettos on Worried About You most of the song, not all of it. He came down. And then the same with Emotional Rescue. And then Can't You Hear Me Knocking with Mick Taylor.
ooh, yeah. I bet that was a
That was after
real tasty nugget
they
there.
played Emotional Rescue, then they played the two new songs, Doom and Gloom and One More Shot. And then they went into Mick Taylor come out. He never introduced Mick Taylor, I don't believe, the whole night. He never said who he was.
Really?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he needs an introduction.
I think people just knew who he was. But, and they play Can't You Hear Me Knocking, and then they go into the War Horses. They go into Rambler, and that's with all three guitar players out there, especially Mick Taylor. He takes leads on most of it. But all the signature licks are Keith, and he comes out front and does it. They turn the guitar, their sound system, top notch. If you just watch the two guitar players, you can pick out who's playing lead and who's not. I mean, they're that crystal clear. And they come out, and they'd start me up. Keith come out, and the guy on the sound cranked up his guitar because it just blasted. And I looked at
Well, it should
I looked
be.
at my wife.
Well,
and I
it
was like-
should be,
I was
man.
like, they cranked that. She's like, yeah.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
But he got all the big riffs with Keith's, a lot of the leads, Woody handled. But they got no reason to quit. I mean, they really don't. They really don't. I mean, their lead singer can move. He can sing. The guitar players are fantastic. One of them steps out a little bit more than the other. Keith plays back by the drummer a lot.
Who might that drummer be?
Yeah, Mr. Charlie, the Wembley Whammer.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They actually, Daryl Jones sang background vocals on "Miss You,"
Really?
and I think that's the first time I've ever seen him sing background.
Really?
Daryl Jones did?
Yeah.
That's something.
I don't think he did. I'd never seen him sing background vocals before. He did on "Miss You,"
Wow.
and
That's
but after
wild.
they get to that 14th song or whatever, Midnight Rambler, then it's a race to the finish line. Then it's Brown Sugar and Tongue and Dice and Somebody for the Devil. You Can't Always Get What You Want. Jumpin' Jack Flash, Satisfaction. They just blast them out in the end.
all the standards.
Oh.
All the standards.
But the only time you're going to get some of the difference between song 5 and 9. Because the first 4 are usually Get Off My Cloud, It's Only Rock and Roll, Paint It Black, and Shelter. That's the first 4.
Which are
And then
all my classic, all my classic
5
Stones
to 9 you'll
songs.
get a mix of they might play, in Boston they play Memory Motel.
Yeah.
You might get Burden. Played that a couple times.
Yeah, Sway in Boston, I think. With,
Yeah,
with
that-
MT on guitar.
Rocks Off. I saw Rocks Off. I saw Worried About You. But they'll mix it up then, and then once they get then they play those 2 new songs, Doom and Gloom and One More Shot. Then it's Honky Tonk Woman. Then Keith does his 2-song set, and then
What Keith do?
it's Rambler and Right On.
Well, what Keith do?
You got the Silver and Before They Make Me Run.
No. 2 good ones.
He sang
2
great.
good ones, man.
Actually, he sang pretty good.
2 good ones.
Silver's a really good song for him to sing.
Yes,
I love that. Did he play? Did he play on that or not?
Yeah,
He played on that.
he played that song with Ronnie
Okay.
Wood right beside him.
Okay, because I know when he did his, you got Silver in. I'm trying to think of what show it was. He didn't even play. He didn't even have his guitar. He just actually sang.
And then he did Before They Make Me Run. Then after that, it's a race. I mean, that's the classics just come,
Now,
one after another.
that's what I really want to say.
After Rambler was a good 10, 12 minutes probably. But they jammed that one up.
Well, see, the key thing is us as being diehard Rolling Stones fans. That's okay, but we've heard them so many times. We'd rather see them mix a lot more.
But the
other
best
stuff in
Keith
there.
song still is Jumpin' Jack Flash. He brought out all the tricks.
Oh yeah.
Leg kick a couple times, just a couple times, you know. And
Did you get all down the line or not?
no,
No.
got rocked off.
That's right.
I mean, there's so many other songs that they could do that they don't.
But there's-
which would
there's-
be incredible.
No reason for them to retire. They're really not.
Well, how old is the oldest member of that band?
Well, Watts is what, 72? 1?
Okay. How old's Mick?
He's 70 now. They could be 71 next month.
How old's Keith?
No, maybe Jagger will be 70. Keith will be
Yeah.
70 in December.
Okay. You're saying there's no reason for them to retire.
No,
Not the way they sound.
no, not the way they can play.
That's cool. That's cool. I would love to be able to do anything like they do at that age. I mean, I would love to be able to do anything at that age.
If they weren't so damn big, I'd like to see them scale down to clubs.
Yeah.
You know, play it. E.J. Thomas and Akron, or
See, and that might be something that they do moving forward after this tour.
But
They may not really tour again, but you could see them playing some clubs here and there.
if Mick has anything to do with it, that's not happening because Mick's all about the money. The rest of them
Well,
are all about the music.
I don't think necessarily that Mick is all about the money as far as he's concerned and the core band is concerned. When the Stones go on tour, they become a business. And there's a lot of people that rely on that business. You're talking backup singers who don't
Okay.
make what the Stones make.
Okay.
You're talking the rigging crew, the stage hands, the guys that put the stage up, the guitar techs, the producers, all of that stuff. So yeah, he's about the money, and he wants his share, and the Stones are going to get their share. But he also wants to make sure, I think, that those people are taken care of as well.
Okay.
But you don't need all of that if you're doing theaters. You really don't need much. You don't even really need to schlep a stage around.
My opinion is this. Being that they're all based in the 70s, early 70s. You want to continue to play? First of all, you can take into consideration your families.
Their families are there with them.
Second thing you take into consideration is this, what you just said. Don't make it hard on yourself.
well, I don't think they play
Well,
hard on themselves in this
No,
tour.
I don't think so.
They don't
either.
play once every about 3 days.
Yeah, what I'm saying is don't make
They
it hard.
play about as much as the NBA playoffs do.
Don't make it hard on
Once every
yourself
3 days.
as far as where you're going to play. Just go play. If they really love to play, which they do obviously, because they sure as hell wouldn't be doing it if they don't, just go play. Scale everything back. Go back to just your band. You don't need your backup singers. You don't need all the lights and the frills. Just go back to playing, doing what you do, because you come out a certain way, you get to a certain point, and then you have your twilight. This is their twilight. Go
Maybe-
out,
maybe it's
go
not.
out, go
Maybe
out.
they don't have a Twilight.
Maybe it's not. I mean, they're
I'm gonna
pretty
tell you
good,
something.
man.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, my friend. As much as you love this band, which I love them too, and as much as you love them, Chris, they ain't getting no younger, and they ain't living.
That's
forever.
not what anybody said.
They're not living forever.
they don't-
So
but-
maybe
but
there
who
comes
says-
a time where it's like, okay, let's just scale back and go back to kind of what we did and just enjoy ourselves. And maybe, wait a minute, let me finish what I'm gonna say. Go back to, I'm not doing the motherfucking war horses no more. I'm not doing this other shit no more. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get out here. We've done made our money. We've done made our name. Let's go out and just have a good ass.
I think that's what they're doing now.
Not when you blast all your war horses all the time. Going out and having a good time is
I'm
doing
pretty
cherry
sure
oak
they
baby,
enjoy doing that.
or doing just stuff that you never ever hear them ever do before. It's like these are our songs too, and we're gonna do it, cut it back. Like, oh, these modern jams. Do more blues stuff. Maybe even do more stuff that isn't even their own songs that they just grew up with. They love to play.
under the border.
Yeah.
There you go. Stuff like that. They need to kind
They
of
just played that the other night.
you know, just go do, fuck, doing all the stuff everyone wants to hear. I'm 70 fucking 1 years old. fuck what you want to hear. I'm playing what I want to play. And this is what I want to play. We have a good time playing it. We don't need a whole fucking...
Well, yeah, but who tells
we don't need everybody behind us to do it. Just get us all out there, just do it.
Who tells them that? Nobody. They're playing what they want to play. It just so happens that they choose to play the songs that they think people want to hear.
The people that everyone comes out, it's like, we got to hear this, we got to hear this, and then they think if we don't play this...
Okay, they listen to it, but they don't have to listen to it.
But these people aren't going to come and see us. Fuck you. We don't need you no more. We made tons of money. I want to give it back to what I like to play.
I don't think it's... They choose to listen to what they choose to do what they feel the people want to do. They don't have to. There is nobody telling the Stones what songs to play. There's nobody telling them how to dress. There's nobody telling them any of that. They're grown men. They choose to do what they're doing.
Okay, well, wait.
They can sit back and do whatever they want, and this is what they want to do, evidently.
First of all, I think you're actually wrong about that.
No.
There is somebody telling them what to play
No,
and what to perform.
There
I
doesn't
think you're
have
wrong
to be.
about that.
There doesn't have to be.
But there is. And I think
I
you're
don't
wrong
think
about
there
that.
is.
I think Sir Keith is the one saying, we got to play these songs, because if I think it was up to some of the other members of the band, they'd say, I don't fucking want to play this
I don't
fucking song
think it's
no more.
not.
I don't want to play this
It's not
song no more.
Keith.
I would rather
Sir
play,
Yeah.
or Sir, not Keith, Sir Mick. I'm sorry.
See,
I
but
apologize.
obviously the rest
I
of
think
the
that's where
band-
it comes into. I think the rest of the band would say, hey, I would much rather do this. Maybe they'd much rather do more of the bluesy stuff. They'd much rather do stuff that you never ever hear ever in the world.
I think if they were dissatisfied
but
with
Mick
the
is
song
like-
choices, they would either stand up and do something about it, or they wouldn't
They
have.
ain't fucking standing up to Mick Jagger. It's like, go play
You think
with
Keith Richards is afraid of Mick Jagger?
No, but I think he just goes along with the flow for that.
No, I think
I
you're
do.
wrong.
I'm
If Keith
sorry,
had
I
a
do.
problem, he would say something. Trust me.
I don't know.
And the band's not going to tour without Keith Richards. He's just as big a piece of that band as Mick Jagger.
Can you say that Mick wouldn't rather play something other, and also Charlie and Ronnie, other than what they play as their war horses?
I don't think
They're
that they
war
really,
horses?
I think they just like playing. I don't think it matters to
No,
them.
they like to play, but I think if it come down to them, if they had a really big choice in the playlist, they might say, let's leave this out and put this in.
Well, you also got to figure that's more they have to learn too.
Learn, Christ, they've known them. They know the songs.
Oh, no.
They don't got to learn them.
No. They'd have to go back and learn something like.
And don't think they
like
wouldn't enjoy.
They would probably have to relearn Hand of Fate, and they played Hand of Fate within the last decade.
And you don't think they would enjoy that?
I would think they would.
I would think they would, but I don't. I think that if there was this major coup brewing, it would have happened. Cause
There's no major
Keith
coup
doesn't buy his
because
look for
the
nothing.
money's rolling in. I just say if the Rolling Stones would go back to be
Rolling
stripped down
Stones business is
completely.
doing well.
It very much
Well,
is.
no,
It very much is.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying is I think if the three of the four had a say, they might say, hey, we really don't want to do this shit every
I
damn
got a
night.
T-shirt.
We just want to do something.
I think they're doing what they want to do. I really do. I don't think that they're too old and they made too much money.
They're obviously doing what they want.
They're too old and they've made too much money to sit back and have to listen to some power tripping, lead singer. It's not like this is, Oasis or, something like Nirvana or something like that.
Well, I got news for you, Chris. As much as you don't want to believe this, that's exactly what they do every fucking time Mick Jagger steps out there
No.
because he's the one that controls every motherfucking thing they do.
No, he's
Because
not.
they would rather do something different at times, but they do it because
He doesn't-
he says
he-
this is what we're doing.
And they let him. That's the thing. Just like U2 with Bono. U2 lets Bono do what he does because I think they sit back and say, whatever, dude. If they wanted to fight it, they would, and it wouldn't happen.
Why would they? They do something different all the time.
U2?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. U2 doesn't. A lot of bands don't switch it up a lot. Fuck, AC/DC will go on tour and play the exact same songs every show, not change a single one up. A lot of bands do that stuff. It's easier, and they think it works.
But I can tell you something right now. As long as AC/DC's been around, they haven't been around nowhere near as long as the category that the Rolling Stones has. As long as U2's been around, they have nowhere near the category
Right.
that the Rolling Stones have.
Right.
They have such a wide variety of category that I still believe that a lot of those guys in that band would much rather say, you know what, let's not play this, let's not play this, let's not play this. I'd rather go back more to the bluesy. I'd rather go back to more something we've never ever done or something we don't rarely do. You know who's in charge of it? Mick. Mick is in charge of everything.
Well, I think Chuck Lavelle. I think Charlie would get his hands in there if he really wanted.
I would love to see Charlie get his hands in there and do something different because you know what? There are so many different things that they could do that they have done. And you're right. Maybe they do forget how to do those songs. That's why you rehearse those songs. I think it's just too much Mick Jagger wanting to make sure everyone knows who the Rolling Stones are by playing the signature songs of the Rolling Stones. True Rolling Stones fans would know if they broke into something different that they haven't played like in forever or maybe never played live, they would know what it is.
Well, yeah.
You don't have to continually play
Mick says he treats every show as if nobody's ever seen him before.
Mm-hmm. And what's he play?
Well, if you never went to a Stones, if that was your first Stones concert, you'd want them to play the songs that they play.
Exactly. But that's to me, especially now in their older age. They're not in their 30s. They're not in their 40s. They're not in their 50s. They're not even in their 60s. Now they're in their 70s. Now is this time to say, you know what? It's the Rolling Stones time now. It's time for every member of this band to sit down and say, this is what we
Rolling
want
Stones
to play.
now, isn't that like that?
What we want to play now. Because
50 years later, we'll put out a new record that says Rolling Stones now.
You know what?
Just like 50 years ago.
Wouldn't that be
Rolling
great?
Stones
I
again?
did get...
Wouldn't that be great, though?
I did get... Mick said that it was 50 years ago from the following day of the concert was when they released Come On, the single, their first single. And he started singing a little bit of it.
Thought they were gonna play it.
He started singing a little bit of it or whatever, and Charlie started playing a little beat to it. And they stopped or whatever, and he's like, Keith didn't remember it or something like that. He goes, Charlie started getting on to it.
But that's, as far as I'm concerned, they're in their 70s now, early 70s. Why not say screw it? We've made a ton of money.
If that's what they
You
wanted
want
to
to
do,
come
that's
to
what
a
they were
Rolling
doing.
Stones show now? I would advertise it that way too. You're not going to hear what you're used to hearing.
That's what you came to hear.
Right?
No, well, but
If you came to hear the classics, they're going to play a lot of them.
no, what I always say is Don Zim's like, you know what? This is music we put out. And it may not be what you're ever used to hearing, but you're going to hear something totally different in this show.
I'm
You just
surprised
do
you
it.
haven't heard more
Rip it.
of like 19th Nervous Breakdown and maybe Mother's Little Helper or something like that. I'm surprised you haven't really heard any of that. So look, for a while there, they brought out I Want to Be Your Man for the 5 shows that they did before the actual tour, and it looked like they were going to start doing things like that.
Yeah, but this is what I'm getting at. They're old enough now that they don't got to make a name for themselves. They are the greatest rock and roll band ever. Comes to the point now, it's like, you expect me to come out here and play the War Horses. Okay, this ain't War Horse show. We're going to give you stuff that we have done over our entire career. And we're
That's why I say when you play 3 nights in Chicago or a city like that, the first and third nights are the regular shows. That second night you announce it as we're not playing
We're not doing the freaking...
the hits or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to get a whole different.
You're
look.
getting what we played throughout
And
our career.
just promote it up front. It's like, hey, if you're coming here to see us do Miss You and Start Me Up or whatever, don't come.
Or Sympathy, or
'Cause we're probably not going to play that.
No, we're. This is going to be what we have done through our career.
We're
But this is what
we're
we've
playing
done.
Moonlight Mile and Memory Motel.
2,000 Light Years from Home.
Yeah, exactly. Shit like that. That's what I'm saying. That's
Ruby
what.
Tuesday.
Yes, stuff that you don't.
She's like a rainbow.
Oh,
Although
God,
they-
yeah.
Did they play that on this tour?
No.
They played it live before, though.
Child of the Moon.
Cheerio.
Cheerio, baby.
Yeah, do stuff like that. I mean, that's
Melody.
what they need.
I Got the Blues.
You got it. That's what they.
Pretty much
need.
all the Black and Blue.
Well, the thing is, that's what they need to do, though. It's like, okay, we're not giving you this.
Hot stuff.
Oh,
Fingerprint
hot stuff. Hell yeah, man.
Even go back to doing,
You can't rock me, somebody will.
Cracking up.
There you go. Cracking up.
around and
Yeah.
around.
Rooster.
Yeah. Well, Eric Clapton started joining them every
See,
night.
that's when they play clubs. They play shit like that.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff
And a fade.
now they don't need to worry about. If somebody's buying a ticket to see them, they're Stones fans. And the majority of the ones that go by to see them, they can get away with that because the other people, they're going to sit there and say, okay, wait a minute, what is this? The majority of those fans, they know what that is. And they're going to sit back and they're going to fucking smile on their face up to their fucking ears going, hell yeah, I've never ever in my life heard you do this live, ever. That's what they're going to get. And that's what they need to do. Because they're getting old. They can't continue to do this forever.
So it was
They
Black
can't.
Sabbath. They put out a new record, right?
Yeah, but Black Sabbath isn't near as old as the Stones are.
Well, Sabbath's what, 40 years?
Yeah, 40.
Of course, they've been. Well,
Sabbath hasn't stayed together like the Stones have.
they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but they've never stayed together like the Stones
They
have.
didn't play at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm just
Trying to think
saying.
who took their place. Metallica.
We're talking right now.
Who's
We're
the
talking.
band?
I'm not talking the Stone or the Sabbath or anyone else. I'm talking the Rolling Stones right now. And they're old enough now that they can just go out and do what the fuck they want to do. And the people that appreciate them and know their music will listen to it and they will go pay to see that show. And quite honestly, I would pay a lot more money to go see a show where they play shit they ain't played in like forever or never played than I will to hear the same old thing that I've heard
Would you
forever.
pay $600 to see them in a club show?
If they played everything that I've never heard before,
I think I would.
I think I would.
I would.
I really would. If they played every song that they have never played before, but yet is part of their
You're not,
repertoire
you're
that they've
not,
done,
you're not necessarily
I think I would.
close. I mean, it's going to be a small hall.
I don't give a
You're gonna be
shit.
close.
I don't care.
600 doesn't put you in the first row.
No, well, I would do that just to hear them play stuff that they have never played live before, but yet is there in their category, what they have done. Yes, I would, only because of that reason. I get a chance to hear them play songs that I'm not tired of hearing, to put it that way. There's songs that I love. The Rolling Stones will play something, I hear something all the time. You can't always get what you want now, which I love that song. A lot of songs I love.
Burden.
Burden, I love
God, you
this.
got to play that song every show.
But what I'm saying is I would love to go see them do stuff that they did from day one.
Let Woody and Keith just lock it in.
Do something from day one that they come out in the U.S. of, well, it doesn't have to be from the U.S. They could have been from the U.K. before they even come to the U.S. to the present. Stuff that they never ever have played in concert before. You're damn right I would, because you know what? You would get the nuggets of nuggets. The stuff that you never ever ever heard before. Would it be worth it? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And that's what I wish they would do more of. And they don't. And I wish they would. Chris, they've got a category of songs that they've never ever played live.
Oh, they've
It's like,
got
my God,
they've got
this
more
stuff-
they've got more songs that they've never played than most bands have. Period.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
I'd like to see him
That's
come
what I'm
back.
saying.
I'd like to see him come back and play the States again, and I will tear up that set list and put in a new one for me.
I thought Emotional Rescue was a big
And
song.
I'll cover their career.
That's what I'm saying. Go from day one till now. And you include some of their songs that they've done on their newer albums
hear
and that
this-
they never ever played.
You wouldn't hear
Oh,
Paint It
hell,
Black.
Paint It Black. You wouldn't
I
hear
like Paint It Black,
Sympathy.
but that song's been played.
You wouldn't hear
to death.
Sympathy, When the Wind Comes
Sympathy,
Down.
Honky
I
Tonk
mean,
Woman,
I like
Back
all
Me
those
Up.
songs, but they need to play stuff that they don't ever play, which are great songs. That's what they need to do. Mick, are you listening?
Coming down again.
Mick, come on. Oh, that's
Oh, my
yeah. There you go.
goodness.
There you go. There you go. That would be one.
Now
too.
you can't
They
always get
need
what
to
you
do
want
this.
with the choir. How was that live?
Excellent.
That's what I figured. Got to incorporate. I think that would be
That was a different twist by the Stones.
Well,
They've never done that before.
I have to be honest with you though. That is one of my all-time favorite Stones songs because it means so much to everybody that lives life, and it does. If you live a life like a normal life, that means a lot because it's true. You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. But you still, there's other
But if
songs.
you try sometime.
You just might find.
Get what you need.
I am.
That seems like a good note to end this episode of the Sports Rock Show.
Rock on. Rock on.
Sprock on.
Rock on with the Sprock on.
Follow us on Twitter.
Twitter at Sprock1987. We're also on Facebook under Sports Rock Show. That'll do it for this episode, folks. Catch us on the flip side.
Gold rings on you.